Hello, everyone. My name is Karen Mayfield Felton, and I welcome you to the Feet Planted LLC channel. Feet Planted is solely and purposefully seeking out opportunities to celebrate women. This is Women's History Month, so I am excited. I told you all last week that I had a lineup of women that I wanted to feature, and you will not be disappointed tonight at all. Let me talk a little bit about what Feet Planted's mission is. My desire is to ensure that students who are interested in STEM are able to succeed not only in STEM, but in life, to succeed academically, but also be able to become leaders and pretty much who they are destined to be. That is my goal and that is my mission. So I'm not just featuring women who have done great work. I am featuring women that are mentors and role models. And so I'm excited to introduce you all to Mrs. Katina Barnes. Say hi, Katina.
Hello, everyone. I am happy to be here to celebrate Women's History Month. I am all things women empowered.
That's right. That's right. We are going to celebrate each other. One of the unique aspects of this particular conversation is that Katina and I go way back. I've known Katina since I was 5 years old. We go way back to when we were running around in the neighborhood together, and who knew that our paths would continue to cross to this day.
That's right.
The last recording, I kept using the word amazing. So I'm gonna find a different adjective so that I don't have to keep using this word. I'm not just hyping her up because she is a friend of mine. She is a woman who is involved and engaged in the lives of people, edifying their lives and making sure that they can make their dreams come true. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to read a little bit of her bio, and then I'm going to turn it over to Katina to ask us some questions. They're not going to be hard, but she's going to drop some knowledge on us. So please, 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 please stay tuned. All right. Mrs. Katina Barnes, a native of Suffolk, Virginia, surprising Suffolk, that's where we are from. She earned a degree in fashion marketing and design from the Art Institute of Atlanta, a bachelor's in social work, and a master's of arts, urban education, both from Norfolk State University, also my alma mater, NSU, Spartans, behold the green and gold, I have to put that in there. Mrs. Barnes has spent most of her career strengthening families and empowering communities. Her passion for community development was ignited while employed at Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters, where she coordinated health insurance programs for uninsured children. She also served in the role of administrative assistant in the Department of the Physician Services. She went on to serve 11 years in prevention services and decided to extend her career into higher education. She joined Tidewater Community College in 2011 as an adjunct instructor and academic advisor. Mrs. Barnes changed the culture of co-curricular learning by establishing student success initiatives. All right, students, parents, teachers, I hope you're listening. She incorporated collaborative learning experiences to create a vibrant environment for academic success. In 2021, Mrs. Barnes joined the Department of Labor as a career specialist, where she currently serves. Mrs. Barnes, Ms. Tina, also serves as founder and executive director of Butterfly Village Incorporated, a nonprofit organization designed to cultivate positive changes in the lives of women and girls. Right up my alley. I cannot wait to hear more about this organization. Butterfly Village provides services for women and girls to excel in STEM as well as in their personal and professional life. Now go figure. So we're definitely in sync and on the same path. She recently received the WTKR Hampton Roads Hometown Hero Award for making a difference in Hampton Roads youth. So when you see this video and look in the description, we're going to have a link to that so you can see her winning her award. Ms. Barnes is a licensed minister, enjoys spending time with her husband, son, and granddaughter. In her free time, she takes a pleasure in collecting teacups, interior decorating, and settling at the beach. Her philosophy is always believe in yourself, your dreams, and live with intentionality. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Mrs. Katina Barnes. That is it. Okay, we're gonna clap on that. That's just amazing, amazing, amazing. So having read all of those things, and I left out some, so there's a lot more to her. Mrs. Barnes, please tell
Yes.
us about your career journey, and you can start from any vantage point that you choose to.
Yeah. So when you were reading that, of course, I began to think about all the things that I have been extremely blessed with over my life. And, I have a really interesting career path. As you mentioned, my first degree is fashion marketing and design. I thought that I was going to be on the runways in New York, designing for models, and that didn't pan out. I actually moved back here to Virginia. I got married, began my family, and as you know, Hampton Roads. This is not the area that you're going to, do very well as a fashion designer, right? So I had to figure some things out. I had to really figure, okay, what now? Like, what is it that I'm going to do? And it took me a minute to really find my niche, my passion. I end up great experience at Children's Hospital of the King Daughters. Had a young lady there who took interest in me. She was a social worker, and she said, "You need to go back to school." And I was like, "What? Go back to school?" So I ended up going back to school. Went to Norfolk State. I earned my bachelor's degree in social work. And it was from there that I realized that my purpose was to really make a difference in the community. I was working at a nonprofit at the time, moved from CHKD, moved to a nonprofit. And it was there that I began to see all these things that I hadn't been privy to. I mean, I think I lived pretty much a sheltered life, I think, but I just became so aware of all the needs that were around me. And it was my mission to every day to make a difference in the lives of others. And let me say this too. So I wasn't the young girl in middle school who knew exactly what she wanted to do. I had friends that would say, "Oh, I want to be a teacher. I know that's what I want to be. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor." I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do growing up. And I will never forget, my mom said to me, "Well, I don't know, but you will figure this out. You're going to college. You're going to have to figure it out in college." I was like, "Dude, what? I don't know what I'm going to do." When I left, I honestly did not know like what route I was going to take. I knew that I wanted to make a difference in people's lives. I knew I liked the fashion thing, um, but I really didn't know. And I look back to every position that I have had, and it has been just a stepping stone, prepping me for the next, prepping me for where I am today. So I'm not sure if you asked for all of that, but I kind of gave you a little bit extra.
No, that is good. That is really good. So you said a couple of things that I just want to bring light to. One, you said you did not have it all figured out. So if you're out there listening to Mrs. Barnes, you don't have to have it all figured out. There
Yeah.
are situations and opportunities that lead us into different directions. And what I heard you say is that you were basically making the best of those situations, and someone recognized that you needed and had the capabilities to do more and do it in another arena,
Yes.
which I think is great. So this leads me to ask this question, because we have an audience filled with young folks. We have a variety of different age groups. What advice would you give to today's generation that don't know what they want to do, that haven't a clue, or are still in pursuit of that thing, that direction? What advice would you give?
So a couple of things. I would definitely say surround yourself with people who are different. Surround, don't just stay in your small little circle, right? Surround yourself with people who are different from you, who come from all walks of life. Um, this example that I will give you, when I was at Norfolk State earning my undergraduate degree, I was a non-traditional student. So I was a little bit older than my counterparts because I had gone back. And it was very different from when I was in school the first time. I was older, and I just really wanted to soak up all the diversity that was in my classroom. I got involved with clubs, different groups that I normally wouldn't connect to, because that's how we learn. We learn from connections. We learn from experiences. So my advice would be, don't be afraid to step out and do something different. Don't be afraid to connect with people who are different from you. And I'll also say this: every time you show up like you were meant to be there. Have that confidence. And those experiences, those connections will begin to shape and will begin to show, what your purpose. Everybody has a purpose. We're not just all kind of here happenstance. Everybody has a purpose. So those experiences, those connections will begin to shape who you are and to give light to what your interests are and to what your purpose is.
That's good. Where were you when I was trying to figure some stuff out?
You have it figured out. You do. You do.
No, that is so good. In this time that we're in, there are a lot of directions that our students can pursue, and there's a lot of input. There's a lot more information out there. Social media, just access to a lot more information. So you could have a direction and then see something, watch a video, and then be influenced to go in another direction. So the advice that you gave, I think, is so important for people to really realize that you don't have to have it all together, but there are a couple of indicators that they can use to direct them in a specific direction. And based on your own experience, it's okay if that changes, right?
And I was going to say, it's okay. I have another term that I didn't always embrace, but as I have gotten older and experienced some things, it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to be uncomfortable. I know for me, that's when I develop, and I flourish is when I'm uncomfortable. So it's okay if you're in a situation, or maybe in a certain job, and you're not quite settled, or you're just not feeling quite. It's okay. It's okay. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. I learned that the hard way. I think everything that I tried to do from when I graduated from high school was to be perfect. And nothing's perfect. No one's perfect. So nothing's going to be perfect. There will not be a perfect situation or a perfect job. And it's okay. It's okay. Just do your best. Show up every time like you were meant to be there.
I love it. Show up like you were meant to be there. That is really good advice. I'm going to continue with that line of thinking in the mode of Women's History Month. We talked before we started recording about that connection and how important it is as women for us to bond together, support one another. A woman did that for you based on your own story. So talk to our audience about how you feel it's important for women to experience and do some of the things that you recommended our students do, like connection and being comfortable with being uncomfortable as a woman. Can you talk to us about that for a little bit?
Yeah. So I have had some formal mentor relationships and some informal mentoring relationships. And there have been so many people that I have been blessed that have come into my path. When I turned 40, I had a birthday party, and I invited 40 women who had been impactful in my life. And that was probably the best birthday I've had yet. I won't tell you how old I am now, but those 40 women left nuggets for me to become the woman who I am today. So connections are so important. Again, get outside of your comfort zone and join professional organizations. For instance, when I when I was in undergrad school, I had this instructor who would say, if you want to be a social worker, hang out with social workers. And I was like, what? And she's right. If you are wanting to go into STEM, join a professional STEM organization. You know, if you're a student, there are student rates, right? You don't have to pay the regular rate. Join a professional organization. Join an organization that you have nothing about. You will be surprised. Make those connections. I think we all have people who we look up to, like the Michelle Obamas and the Oprah Winfrey, and Serena Williams. But there are people right here in our community, right here in your community, that you can connect with that can make a difference in your life. Now, I'm not saying everybody who you come in contact with will have a positive influence, and that's okay too. Even those not so great influence, those great connections will shape you as well, right? It's important for us women to celebrate each other. Doesn't matter how we look. We could be a different color, different hue, from different tracks of the, doesn't matter. We need to celebrate each other. Surprisingly, we go through some of the same things, right? We can sit here and say, oh, she's not going through this. Well, you might be surprised. You might just be surprised. It's important to lift up our sisters every single day. I think, and I've been asked this before, who are your mentors, who inspire you? You know what? I am truly inspired by every woman I come in contact with. If I'm in a grocery store, I'm inspired by the lady who's behind me with the children, who's just trying to make it. I'm inspired by the young lady, the single mom who's trying to get her daughter to school, drop her off, get to the next destination. I'm inspired by people I come in contact with every single day. And I try to be that for others. I try to empower and inspire others.
That's a lesson in life. I was actually going to ask you that question and you answered it, so I appreciate that. One of the things that is very apparent to me is that connection. We are and have been in a pandemic, so a lot of us have not been able to have that connection with one another, our tribe, our friends, our families. What advice would you give to folks who don't know how or are struggling to make that connection?
So that's a tough question. We are definitely in some challenging times. There are still so many different things that we can do. I have a group of young ladies who we read a book, and we meet and we discuss a chapter. We have met virtually. We have met outside the park where we kind of social distance, but it hasn't always been easy for me. Growing up, I was somewhat shy. I wasn't always the person who would pick the phone up or in the party and introduce myself. That was not always me. So for people where it's difficult to make a connection, it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to be uncomfortable. And it's okay to be transparent and say, you know what, I'm not really comfortable with this, but I want to get out of this house, this room. Mental health we are seeing some serious mental health issues right now. Taking care of self, doing self-care. You can take care of yourself outside the house, inside the house. I have this regimen that I do every Sunday, where it involves facials and pedicures and things like that. But you can also, my happy place is the beach. Going to the beach. I can strike up a conversation at the beach. So there are different ways that you can make connections. I would just say, be okay with being uncomfortable. For those introverts who are not the life of the party, who don't, find it comfortable to say, hey, I'm so-and-so, it's okay to be uncomfortable. Step outside of that box and make connections with people, because that's what really helps us to thrive, those connections. I sit in meetings all day long, and I truly believe that if we had better connections with people, that would solve a lot of the problems that we have today. Just having consistent communication, positive interactions would solve a lot of the issues that we have.
I high five that. I am not classified as an introvert, so I don't have a problem meeting folks, but there are some that do with that connection and showing up and putting forth the effort within what you're comfortable with as an individual lends itself to branching out there. One of the
Hmm.
things that was brought up in the previous interview was letting our voices be heard.
Yeah.
And you have described ways to not only show up but to be present in the moments that we have and where your voice is needed, to not be afraid to lend it to that situation and specifically that person. What I touched on a little bit in your bio is that you are the founder of Butterfly Village, where
Hmm.
you work with young women and children, where you give them opportunity to not just work on STEM projects, but I suspect you give them and empower them an opportunity to have a voice. So share with our audience what Butterfly Village is about and what you do.
Sure. Butterfly Village is, I call it my baby. I just light up when I talk about Butterfly Village. Butterfly Village is a nonprofit organization that's really designed to cultivate positive change in the lives of women and girls. And we do that through a number of strategies. Um, our signature program, which is She Can STEM Academy. We started the academy in 2019. I was still working in my full-time job at the college, and I knew that I could not implement every single program that had been birthed through Butterfly Village. So we honed in on STEM. Why? Because we know there is a significant gender inequality there. There's not enough of us women in the field. So my volunteers, my board members, we decided STEM, that's what we're gonna concentrate on. And the academy, I'm telling you, the academy started right before the pandemic, right before. It was an after school program, and we ended March. It's an 8-week program. We ended March 13th. And that Friday, that's when the whole world fell apart. I was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And we decided to provide STEM services virtually. So what we do, we expose girls to STEM careers. We provide them professionals that are working in a variety of STEM fields to come and talk about their career, and to also make it relative, make it real to them. They do hands-on experiences specified to whatever the career that's being discussed. There are a lot of STEM programs out here, right? Our goal is to show girls, if they see it, they can be it. So we have an aerospace engineer who will come and talk about her experiences. We have, I say this all the time, when people hear of engineering, I want to be an engineer. And I'll say, well, what kind of engineer do you want to be? Oh, I don't know. Let me tell you, Virginia Tech alone, there's 14 different engineering disciplines. We want to bring that to the forefront of our girls. We want to show them that there are so many different opportunities in STEM that you can step into and change the world. So we bring all those STEM professionals to our girls to interact with them, to empower them. They talk about like what skills they need, what concepts would help serve them right now. So as a middle school student, what do I need to do to get to that point? And we talk about all those things. And the hope is that once they go through our academy, they will have confidence to take physics in high school, or to take those higher level math classes. When I was at TCC, I would ask my students, "So, are we taking physics?" "No, Miss Barnes, I can't take physics. I'm afraid." You mentioned science, technology, engineering, or math class. They are running the opposite way. We want our girls to become confident early on, so they can step into those courses, major in one of those disciplines, and be able to stay there, because research says when girls, young women are majoring in a STEM related field, something happens at the collegiate level. Something happens. There's not enough role models, there's not enough support. Something happens, but we want them to stay in that discipline, graduate, and begin to work in that field. And I get so much joy out of that. Butterfly Village, we don't only concentrate on STEM, but we have another program that we're getting ready to launch in a couple of months. I'm so excited about that. And it's called Women on the Go. And Women on the Go is a series of facilitated groups ranging from all the things that we women go through, right? Parenthood, womanhood, leadership, professional development opportunities, college prep. So it's a series of facilitated groups that will be designed to help women deal with certain things that they're going through, and connecting them also with mentors and coaches. I like to use the word coaching versus mentoring. Mentoring over the years, you mentioned mentoring and people kind of go, oh, wait a minute. I'm not ready for that. But coaching is somewhat the same, but it doesn't have that intimidating concept that when you say mentoring, like, oh no, I'm not. Because when we think of mentors, we think that someone has to have it all together, right? Not necessarily. So that's a little bit about Butterfly Village.
That is awesome. You touched on so many different points. I'm gonna try to keep it together because I'm over here like busting out of my seat. As a STEM professional, what you do is so very important, but also as a woman who is empowering other women, see it to be it. I see future me. The woman that I am today is because I saw the women do it. I was up close and personal to the coaching and the mentorship. And there are many young people and older women of a variety of ages that aren't able to get access to that. So thank you so much for your vision to do that. The question that I want to ask though is, what has been your biggest challenge? Well, before I get to that question, let me back up. We are going to put all the information you need about Butterfly Village in the description when this video airs. So all of the information that you just heard Katina Barnes speak about, you will have the website, you will have opportunities to reach out for support. You will have opportunities to invite her to speak. And I even dare say that if you are interested in starting an organization similar to hers, she wouldn't mind talking to you about how she did it. Which kind of leads me to my next question. Your bio, you are a wife, you're a mother, you have a full-time job, you run a nonprofit. What has been your what you would consider your biggest challenge in balancing it all, and what did you do or are doing to overcome, that particular challenge?
Wow. The one thing that comes to mind for me is staying true to myself. Staying true to myself. We live in a society that everybody has something to say, don't they? They have something to say about how we live, how we dress. You have to go to a 4-year university to be successful. You have to climb the career track or the ladder to become the CEO of the company. Everybody has something to say about what you should be doing. And I struggled with this a lot in my 20s and in my 30s, not really staying true to who I was, what I wanted to do, but trying to satisfy others or just doing what society says I should be doing. I think that was the biggest challenge for me. As I'm much older now, I have learned that it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to do what I want to do. I know that my mission and my purpose in life is to serve and to serve others. So that's what I do. I do that not caring what other people think. And I think with the technology and the world of social media, I can't imagine having social media like they have now when I was, middle school, high school. Like, oh gosh, I can't imagine that. Social media plays a huge part on, what people think about what we're doing, how many likes we're getting, how many people are following us. And I would just say to people who are trying to balance it all, because for women, we wear a lot of hats. We are mothers, we are sisters, we are caretakers, we are parents, we are wives, we wear so many hats. trying to keep it all together, be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. I have this saying, I do things that feed my soul. Um, yeah, that's what I got.
Girl, that is profound. I'm over here high fiving. So we have some modicum of decorum in here, but I'm over here on the inside like this because it is so very important. Now, mind you, Feet Planet is on all social media platforms, but that's not really what you're talking about. You're talking about letting outside influencers,
Yeah.
pictures, mean what is the status quo, determine, change, impact the trajectory of not
Yes.
only your actions but your purpose.
Yes.
And
That's
that
exactly what I'm talking about.
that's major.
Yes.
Celebrating Women's History Month is a 30-day endeavor.
Mm.
I dare say that you and I and many others celebrate who we are day in and day out. The question that I want to ask is, you said that you learned how to be yourself and be comfortable and not worry, care about what other people think. So I want the audience to know, as human nature, we do care, but that's not what you're saying. You're saying that what you think does not impact who I am and who I know I can be. Talk to the audience, talk to that young lady, young man, or individual who's struggling with that right now. Can you tell them and us what you did to get to where you are in that mindset?
Ooh, um, that's a great question. And I get that question a lot because I come in contact with a lot of young ladies. And I don't know, I'm drawn to those young ladies who you just asked me about. Um, and I would say for me, how I got past that, one, I'll say, is just organic experiences, right? Um, and believing that everyone on this earth is different. Like, I may be a twin, but I'm still my own person. I am wonderfully made. Like, I'm made to do this. I'm made to be me. And I had to come to the realization that this is me. And I have had the honor and pleasure of being here on this earth. So why should I not think that I can't conquer the world? I can. I can do it. I had to really believe in myself. I had to celebrate small things that I did, small accomplishments. As well as large accomplishments. So celebrating myself, giving myself pats on the back, go girl, you got this, you can do this. Self-affirmation. I'm not the person who have the sticky notes all over the wall, but my husband teases me a lot. You like all these words. I do. I have like words and quotes to remind me of who I am, what I can do. I have to look in the mirror even now and say, girl, you got it going on. You are the bomb.com. Now, I'm not saying I am, but I celebrate me, because if I'm not going to do it, if I don't believe that I can do it and that I'm beautiful, I'm not going to wait for somebody else to do it. And that took some time. That's not something that can happen overnight. You really have to believe in who you are. You were made for a time as this. We all have an assignment on this earth, right? And we have to find out what that assignment is and get to business. Now, I don't know,
Tina,
sometimes.
I'm sorry. I just said, I need you to repeat that again. Say exactly what you just said one more time. Look into the camera and speak that what you just said.
I'm not sure where you want me to start, but I want people to know, I had to say to myself, I am in this space, in this earth for a reason. And I have a specific assignment. And I have to believe that I've been placed here to do that assignment and to do it with boldness and confidence. And if no one else likes it, oh well. And
Yeah,
I was getting ready to say that I don't know if those are like set in stone practical things that you can write down, but it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. not all of us are can walk around with that confidence. And sometimes that confidence has to be seen by others. As I shared, I had a young lady at CHKD who took interest in me and said, you're not going to do this. You're not going to be sitting at this desk answering phone calls forever. I see you doing something more. And I was like, really? You know, so sometimes people have to see with something in us, and we got to believe that, you know, that we're made for greatness.
That is beautiful. That is so beautiful. I am thankful that you said that. I believe it. I live it myself. And if we can encourage others to do the same, what a difference. What a difference our environment, our workplace, the schools, the world
Yes.
would definitely be. I'm going to ask you. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I say this too?
Please.
I also want to say it doesn't matter like where you come from. My mom was a single parent and she worked hard. She worked hard for my sister and I. My dad was in and out of our lives, but it doesn't matter where you come from. You don't have to come from the most prestigious family. You know, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. None of that makes you who you are. You are born for greatness. You are. So I want to tell that young lady who says, oh, I don't come from this family. I don't come from this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter what you've seen. It doesn't matter. You have a specific assignment to do. And that's what you have to believe in your heart, that you can do it. Now, you can't do it by yourself. You got to surround yourself with people who are like-minded, people who are going to support you, people who are going to celebrate you and cheer you on. That whole term about takes a village, it really does.
It does. No, that's really very good. Oftentimes we will self-reject. That's one of the things that I talk about with students and with myself, because I have self-rejected or removed an opportunity because of who I am or my experiences. And I really appreciate you for encouraging us to not let those things, because they're typically material, temporal, meaning temporary, that, you know, they're not going to last. And it's typically coming from the viewpoint of somebody else and their insecurities. That's why you can't lean, trust, take a lot of that stuff to heart. So thank you so much for adding that. That's really important. I'm gonna ask you the last question, which I'm disappointed. We could talk forever, you know that. But I am curious about what your answer to this is going to be. If you could talk to any woman in the world, alive or deceased, who would it be, and what would be a question that you would ask her?
That's a tough question. That's a really tough question. There would be a lot of people. No, I won't say that. It will be 2 or 3. One would be my mother. My mother is deceased. And as I have gotten older, there are some things that I really wish I would have conversed or asked my mother. Another person I would want to talk to would be Michelle Obama. So I would want to know from Michelle Obama. We see her on TV. We see her in interviews, and she seems like she has it all together. She seems like she would be the coolest friend to have, right? And I don't think that is a front. I think that's authentically her. But I would want to know from her how she keeps herself so grounded, so humble, and she's married to the most powerful man in the land. How does she remain so down to earth, graceful, and humble? I would want to know that.
Me too. I have her book Becoming, but that is reading and understanding her words, but a conversation Like
Yeah.
that real conversation.
Yes, I would
Not
love.
that she's not authentic in her book. That's not what I'm saying, but just to understand,
That's what I mean. Yes.
more about how she does it. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
I
don't,
am. Go ahead.
I don't have, I just like, she just seems so down to earth. She looks like she struggles with her weight, like all of us do, right? Sometimes, she struggles with like what to wear, just real stuff that everyday women go through. And
Yeah, very
she does
relatable.
it gracefully. I would love to just ask her, like, how do you do this? Like, how?
Well, girl, this is gonna be aired on YouTube. Look at the camera, Michelle. She's trying to meet you. And when you meet her, call me, invite me.
Yes. No matter what it is, no matter what it is, give your best. Give your best to whatever it is that you are doing in the space that you're doing it. So if you are a mother, you give your all. You give your best. If you are working as a STEM professional, give it your best. If you are working to make ends meet at Kroger, give it your absolute best. Give it your
That's
best.
good. That is good. That is so good. Well, I definitely again want to extend thanks to you. For those that are out there listening, I repeat, I am going to put all of her information in the description. You are going to want to talk to her. You are going to want to call her. With regard to Butterfly Village, this is my plug. She's doing amazing work. Somebody needs to be finding out how you can support her nonprofit and get involved because she's doing such a tremendous work. Again, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for our next feature, a next amazing, great, phenomenal woman. And if you haven't done so, find a woman and just be grateful, be thankful, and encourage them to be all that they can be. Until we talk again, have a great day. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you can get notified when I post content every week.